Our experience in this time has taught us the importance of working with external partners who bring new perspectives and new knowledge to the table. The Rainforest Alliance is just one of many bodies with whom we work, and others include UNICEF on hygiene education and clean drinking water, Greenpeace on climate-friendly refrigeration, and fair trade labelling organisations on ethical trading and poverty relief, and Oxfam on poverty itself. We also recognise the growing importance of addressing sustainability right across our value chain, from the sourcing of raw materials through to consumer use and disposal of our products. I have an example here on water, but given the time, I'm not going to spend too much time on it. So, just a couple of highlights just from 2007 alone. In 2007, we completed the final assessment of 22,000 different consumer food and beverage products across the globe with what we call our Nutrition Enhancement Programme. And that's all about improving the nutritional value of our products, salt reduction, fat reduction, etc., etc. But that has now been completed across 22,000 products. We've introduced new marketing guidelines limiting advertising to children under 12, and we've banned the use of zero-size models. We've launched new climate change strategy with a target to reduce carbon emissions from energy in our manufacturing by 25% by 2012. We've been named Walmart Supplier of the Year on Sustainable Development. In May 2008, we committed to purchase all of our palm oil from certified sustainable sources by 2015, and we worked hand in hand with Greenpeace to make that happen. We are known as the food industry leader in the Dow Jones Sustainability World Indexes for the 9th year running. And finally, what we're seeking to do is to integrate all of our sustainability initiatives into the day-to-day marketing and R&D plans of our brands. And sustainability in Unilever is not something that's done by a few scientists in a few laboratories, and we want to make it very much part of the way we do business, and it's the responsibility of everyone in the business. And just the example that I'm about to give, there's two ways we could bring a piece of marketing differentiation to the market. One would be to launch one SKU, perhaps a Lion's Tea fair trade variety, that we could manage to sustain and from some of the small producers that the Fair Trade Organisation work with. The second way is to say, what would it look like if every single piece of tea that we buy and sell is actually Rainforest Alliance certified? And that's the work we've done. So I just want to tell you a little bit about tea and the challenges that the tea industry faced. Apart from China, most producer countries have a really low GDP, and they've underemployment, and they depend heavily on agriculture. The biggest tea exporting countries are Kenya and Sri Lanka. They're not the biggest producers, but they're the biggest exporters. China and India produce more, but mostly for their own domestic markets. Unilever buys about 12% of the world's black tea supply, about 12, and we're the biggest by quite some distance. The second largest company is a company called Tata Tea, and they would buy about 4% of the world's production of tea. So if we could do something significant, it would make quite a difference to tea and tea production across the globe. There are structural problems in the tea industry, in that prices are down 35% in the last 25 years. And actually, you might think that we would be happy with that, but actually, falling prices is of no interest to us. Low prices, i.e. commoditisation, harms the whole industry, and when prices are low, farmers tend to cut costs to survive. And they either do that in one of two ways. They cut labour costs, or they begin to abuse the environment. And that, therefore, is a structural problem. So given the fact that tea is traded freely on auctions, etc., it also means there is currently a lot of oversupply. Unilever has quite a number of its own tea estates, particularly in Kenya and in Tanzania. And our estate in Kenya is 11,000 hectares. It's known as the Kericho Tea Estate. So what have we done with the Rainforest Alliance? The Rainforest Alliance, as you've seen, focuses on how farms are managed. This is a good fit with exactly what we're trying to do ourselves and what we have been doing in Unilever through our Sustainable Agriculture Programme. Our tea comes from both small farms as well as large estates, and the issues that each face are different. Rainforest Alliance has a proven track record in working with both. So both large estates and smaller freehold estates. Fairtrade has a specific mission to help small disadvantaged producers, and this is very important to us for small tea producers, but it was not necessarily the fit that we needed in order to do what we wanted to do, which was how would we source all of our tea production from Rainforest Alliance certified farms. The Rainforest Alliance certified the Rainforest Alliance goods are typically command a premium. So in coffee, for instance, that premium is typically between 10 and 15%. And that in itself is an important financial incentive for producers. The premium isn't fixed, it's market-based. We believe that with the structural problem of oversupply in the tea industry, giving a fixed premium is not necessarily a good idea and generally leads to even more oversupply. We're not thinking of launching 1 or 2 certified products. As I've said to you, we want to convert all of our existing products to Rainforest Alliance. And it's true that Rainforest Alliance is not as well known in Europe as something like Fairtrade, but they both have advantages. But for what we needed to do, we needed to work with Rainforest Alliance. In spring 2006, we began this process, and representatives from different parts of Unilever, including marketing, supply chain, R&D, and our agronomists, met in our tea estate in Kericho in Kenya, along with the Rainforest Alliance. For months previously, data on tea sourcing, tea pricing, and research into tea drinkers' concerns as citizens had been gathered, ready to be analysed and to be debated. And this group decided that the low prices being paid to millions of tea growers and pluckers was unacceptable, and that Unilever, as the world's largest buyer of black tea, should lead the industry in finding a solution. The tea industry, as I said, has been suffering over the years from oversupply, causing the tea price to drop by 35%. And as a consequence, up to 2 million tea growers, and that's a separate 2 million to those that were mentioned by Edward, and pluckers, including an estimated 1 million in sub-Saharan Africa, have been living on extremely low incomes. So research showed for us that consumers were very concerned about the environmental impacts of what it is that they do, tea cultivation and production. And we believe we've now made a groundbreaking commitment. So Unilever's contribution to the solution was to commit to purchasing all of our tea from sustainable, ethical sources. That's a big job in its own right, because in order to make this happen, we have a huge body of work to do, along with the Rainforest Alliance, to certify a huge number of tea producers. And we currently buy, we believe, from close to 450,000 different tea producers worldwide. So there's obviously a body of work to be done. After evaluating several certification routes, again, we decided on Rainforest Alliance certification, and we believed that that was the most appropriate because of their comprehensive approach towards sustainable farm management, covering social, economic and environmental aspects. And this is, as I said, very much in line with what we wanted to do. Lions tea is Ireland's favourite tea, which is quite a feat when you consider how much tea we drink. We're the largest tea drinkers in the world. I'd like to think that's because we drink the best tea in the world. Our tea, genuinely, compared to the many of the teas that we produce in Unilever, the tea that you get in Lions tea is significantly expensive to buy and produce, and hence I think that's why we drink so much tea in this country. We're used to good tea. Today, a minimum of 55% or 50% of Lions original blend tea, which is the one you'll get a sample of as you leave today, is Rainforest Alliance certified. By 2010, all of the tea in Lions original blend will be Rainforest Alliance certified, and by 2012, we will have managed to do that right across all of the different Lions tea varieties in its own right. We're now seeing more and more ethically conscious consumers driving demand for such products. And interestingly, just from a business benefit, over the last 12 weeks, market shares aren't bad.